everyone, and welcome back. My name is Tina from Quantum Healing with Tina. I'm a Beyond Quantum Healing practitioner, spirit releasement therapist, and intuitive empath. And today we're here with Karen. Say hi.
Hi, I'm Karen, intuitive Starseed, energetic healer, BQH practitioner, channel, and medium.
And published author.
Published author, yes.
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 Welcome. Yeah. Welcome to our video. Today we're going to discuss some of our new offerings. Well, Karen's new offerings. And she's offering channelings, written channelings. So do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, sure. So for what I'm offering is that I'm going to connect. I guess you have a choice of who you want to connect with. So I leave that up to you. So if you don't know who that is, you can have star being, your higher self, spirit guide, galactic guide, what else? Twin flame. I leave it all open. If you don't know who you want to connect with, I'll just intuitively go in and connect with whoever wants to show up for you.
A deceased loved one?
Sorry?
A deceased loved one?
Yes, that too. So everything is open. It's whoever you want to connect with. But they have to want to connect with me too. So of course there's, if you ask me for some like Michael Jackson or something, I don't know if that's gonna work. But we never know. So we won't know unless we try. So you could submit up to 3 questions. Questions are kind of like our in the bubble questions, very general, I guess. I want to let the conversation flow, because sometimes if it's too detailed, it could interfere also with our free will and how things are supposed to go. So I don't want you to bank on this one, truth or notion of how things are going to go when it might not be. So I want to keep it as general as possible. So at least to guide you to where you want to go. Let's say, we can ask questions like, am I in the right relationship? Or what other questions do we usually ask?
Well, what do people usually specifically ask about, like their twin flames?
Oh, well, it depends. Well, is this my twin flame? Or yeah, that too. Or what is this relationship teaching me? There's a different way to go about it, or what should I focus on in my healing? There's some things like that, which has a lot to do with twin flame relationships. It's all about healing your
Everything.
Yeah, all of it. All of it. So really, the sky's the limit on the question. So in terms of general things, I'm having a promotional offer at this moment. So it's like $25, which is pretty good. What I do is again, I go into trance, self trance. I connect. I have a conversation. I do, and I'll eventually ask your questions along the way. I do go a little more, so it's not just 3 questions. I don't go in and just ask 3 questions. I have a conversation. I connect with them, and then I transcribe the whole thing, and then I send you a copy within 1 to 3 business days.
Yeah, and her channelings are really detailed and amazing. Like the ones I've seen have been really on point and awesome. They're really good. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a limited time offer, because it's just really to get myself into it, and yeah, I'm gonna end up bumping the price up. So really take advantage of this if you really want to go into it, and it would be really nice, yeah, to connect with whoever is interested in this. It's good practice for me too, apart from what I'm already doing in the other channelings or readings that we do in session, like BQH sessions.
Yeah. And they don't necessarily have to ask questions, right? If they just want a general reading, they can ask too.
Yeah, I just put it there for 3 questions in case you do have questions. So, I leave that up to you, just at least as an option. But if you don't know what to ask and you just want to know what they have to say, I'm going to go in and just talk with them. And I'll ask, is there anything relevant or anything that's important that you need to know at this moment?
Yeah.
Something good for your healing and a way to kind of guide you.
Yeah. Great. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
So how can they contact you if they want a
Yeah.
channeling?
Well, they could contact me through my email, which we'll leave down below. It's karen.baquiran@hotmail.com. And if not, Tina has her email too, so she can always just forward it to me as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but oh yeah, well, you should tell them about our website so that way, because everything is kind of there to book things.
Yeah. Everything's on our website now, which is amazing. Thank you, Karen, for setting it up. Because I couldn't have done it without you. It's just too technical for me. But yeah, quantumhealingwithtina.com has all of our listings and information, everything you need to know to prepare for a BQH session itself. It has Karen's energy healings and channelings. It has all of our sessions listed, our BQH one-on-one sessions, the tandems and surrogates and bubble sessions, and also your energy healings. Do you want to tell them about that?
Yeah, energy healings is again, I go in intuitively and connect to your energetic body, and I kind of like just go through it like a body scan, like how we would do it in session in a BQH session. So I would do like a body scan and kind of just work on places that I feel are called to or necessary for healing, and that's it. I mean, I go through the chakras, because it's just more of a baseline or a guideline. But I'm not limited to just that. I really go everywhere. But I also do a lot of, what do I call it? Like compassion and kindness talk to your body too. Like I do a lot of that and acknowledge every cell of your body. So, there's that too. Um, I couldn't tell you how much that one I put as, but if you check the website,
I know you've been working hard lately.
it's been a while, but yeah. If you're interested in that, yeah, you could come and inquire again. Email me at the same place, or even like with Tina, you could email her about that.
Yeah, and Karen's done a lot of energy work on me and in sessions, and she's really amazing at it. It's just a natural ability for her. Um, the one that I recall that was really amazing was the one you did on Dana in our tandem session with her spine and opening up all of the blockages that were in her spine. And then she could actually start to feel the energy come through and down into her legs. That was so cool.
I forgot about that. That is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I still continue to work.
We have
to see that live.
Huh?
That was cool to see that live. I don't remember that. I was in it, so I don't know. But yeah. I should probably go back there and watch that.
Yeah, that was an amazing session. I'll link that down below because that was really cool how that worked. What else do we have to talk about?
Apart from our website, the two services, we're also open to twin flame tandems. Is another thing that we're ready to open up shop for. Yeah, why don't you tell them about that? Because we didn't talk about that before, so I kind of just threw that for.
Well, if anyone out there wants to be our first, we'll give you a discount on our first twin flame tandem session. So Karen and I will both be there, and we can do it. There's so many different ways it can go. Like if you are with your twin flame in the physical and want to have a session, we can have the both of you go into trance and connect and view whatever comes up for you. Maybe like where you started originally, how your souls, split from source. Or other past lives that you've had, lives on other planets, whatever comes up for you, whatever is most appropriate. That would be really fun. And then there's also the potential, if you're not connected with your twin flame in the physical, or if you're twins in, say, even 5D or wherever they are, we could have a session to connect with him or her and pull that information down.
I could act as a surrogate.
Yeah, you could be the surrogate for that. Yeah, that would be really cool. And then even if your twin is here on Earth right now in the physical, but you're not in contact or not together, you could still be the surrogate for that, and you could still explore that consciousness and the other lives that were shared together and the love that they've shared together. So there's so many things we can do.
Yeah, if you have any ideas on how you want to go about that, please share with us, and we'll do it. I mean, between me and Tina's energy together, it's a very safe and loving space. So
Right.
we'll create that for you.
Yeah, and as twin flames ourselves, we create that space and that third healing energy, that creative force. So to have a session with another set of twin flames would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing like the two, our two emerging energies, and the third one, and then the other one going this way. There's being a whole big bubble of fun.
Yeah, so if anyone's open to exploring that, we'll do our first twin flame session for a discounted price. We can work something out. So yeah.
Email us.
Yeah.
Better grab it, because people love that stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna go fast. I mean, we've done this. BQH is just so expansive. Like, there's no limits to what we can do, and I love being able to explore all of these different things. It's been amazing what we've done so far, and each and every session we've had has been so unique. No two are like. They're all different, and not one of them has gone like in the standard way, that it's supposed to go. Like, they never do. But they're always perfect. They're always exactly what you need. Yeah.
Yes, and
really.
And Dolores Cannon always shows up, so I mean that's always a bonus. So, and she loves to help us with the healing stuff too. So if you feel very connected to Dolores, her energy is going to be there.
Yeah.
And
She's been
hilarious.
She's hilarious. She's been so present and so powerful in our sessions. Oh, we should talk about the pot of gold session. Do you want to tell them about that?
Do I?
Do you?
No, you're a better storyteller than me. I'll just be nodding.
Okay, so this is an amazing story. I just love it. It's so magical. So we were doing a session for a little girl, a surrogate session, a 9-year-old girl who is, like, you just look into her eyes and you can see the whole universe. Like, you can tell she's really special and sensitive and like one of those rainbow children, right? Rainbow children. Oh my God, that just clicked. That just clicked.
Was that?
We said it in this session, but I didn't click it with the rainbows till just now.
I love that.
I know.
Email the mother.
So this little girl had a lot of fear fear of her parents dying and getting old, a lot of anxiety going to school, fear of sleeping at nighttime, so she would always come and sleep with the parents. She could, when she was a little bit younger, she was seeing a lot of spirits, a lot of entities in the house they were living in. So she was super, super, super sensitive. And she seemed to also be in this power struggle with the mom. Even over things like going to school, like she would fight for like 4 hours to get her there, and then she would be fine when she was there, so it was kind of this back and forth power struggle kind of thing. So the mom really wanted a session to help her with her anxiety, because she would just get to a point sometimes where she would just have these emotional meltdowns
Mm-hmm.
and not know why. And she couldn't verbalize why she was feeling this way. So she would make stuff up and say like, "Oh, I miss my school counselor," or, something
I
that
know
didn't
all
make
about
sense.
her.
Yeah. Right. Because she doesn't have the words to explain what she's feeling, so she'll just tell the adult whatever they want to hear, or whatever she thinks they want to hear. So we went into the session with the intention on finding out the root of those issues and healing them. And the first scene we saw was so amazing. It was her as a being in space, but it wasn't in this galaxy, right? It was in another galaxy. And she and thousands of other beings were running, and they were like picking up this momentum and creating light. And as they were creating the light, it would like lasso around and come down onto Earth, and it was coming down through the humans, right? Into our crowns, down through our bodies, out through our feet, and into Gaia, and like creating these vortexes, like anchoring down into Gaia. And Karen saw us, the people like us who are a little bit more conscious and aware of what's happening, that we were like split open from here, and our hearts were just shining out to the rest of humanity and anchoring in this light coming from them. So we saw that because that was to tell us like she's doing all this work in other dimensions, while she's sleeping, even while she's awake. And this light that, I mean, she's getting herself as a human can be overwhelming for her. So
Mm-hmm.
it will build up, and then she'll just like have these emotional meltdowns and not know why. The poor thing, she doesn't know why she's feeling all this energy. And it's just energy. Um, but we have to, as humans, we like to put all kinds of labels on things, right? But it's really just energy, and she needs to be able to release that in a safe space. And we also saw the life she led as a gypsy, like a real like earth mama kind of gypsy, where she was an herbalist and worked with crystals to heal people, and they would like roll in the mud to connect with the earth. And that was one of the solutions too, for her to just run barefoot on the grass, get outside as much as she can, because the earth will help her release some of that. As it's coming in, it can go right out down into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the solutions for all of the energy she feels all the time. And not only from the light coming in, but from everyone around her. She's absorbing all that energy in the house from her brothers and her parents, and anything that's going on in the neighborhood and the collective. She's feeling all of that too. So, as a child who's really sensitive, you have to know how to be able to guide them and create a safe space for them, so that they feel safe enough to express themselves, even if they don't know what they're feeling or why, just to have the emotional meltdown and let it come out. Because by that point, it's like a boiling point. It's just boiling over and wanting to come out, and it's just spilling over. Um, and they don't understand it. They're too young to comprehend it, just like us as adults. Sometimes we don't know why we're feeling a certain way all
Right.
the time, you know. Yeah, and so the most interesting part of this, it was all interesting. So we saw a life where she was a queen. The little girl was a queen in this life, and she was happy and carefree and full of love and loved nature, and was outside running barefoot all the time, and just a happy little girl. Um, and when she was a little bit older, this traumatic tragedy happened where these two men killed her mother and father, the king and queen. Um, And she then had to take over the throne. And then they also raped her. And the result of that rape was a child, her daughter. And so now the queen, she was a queen, she wasn't that happy and carefree and loving person anymore. She had been robbed of that through the trauma, and she was really shut down and disconnected and angry and resentful. And she took it out on the daughter. And, the daughter just loved her and just wanted her attention and was always looking for her approval and validation, but the queen just treated her like a slave. And as much, you could feel too how she really did want to love her, but she just couldn't, because
She was,
yeah, she just couldn't bring herself to do it. And so the daughter left the castle in her 20s and went out into nature to live alone by herself with nature. And she was, living that way. And then she got ill and was dying. And the queen came to visit her. And that was a really cool scene, because you saw the queen was all drained of color. The way you described it, you said she was all drained of color, kind of like, I imagined her to be gray. But she had a little tiny colored spot in her heart. Yeah. And you said the daughter, in like complementary to that, was all color and had a little gray spot in her heart. So they really were like the yin yang symbol. And so the daughter died, but before she died, she gave back some color to the mother. But what we found out later was that the mother and daughter in this life are playing out those roles still. Mm-hmm. And so the daughter in this life, who's 9, is the queen. And the mother, they swapped roles. So the mother is the daughter from that life. So the mother is always trying to get the queen's attention. Like, I want you to love me. Why don't you love me? Why don't you want to cuddle me? Why don't you want to hug me? Like, I want to make your life easy. What can I do for you? And she's kind of just like, leave me alone, And so they're in this like power struggle, and playing out that exact same scenario that you saw in that lifetime, which is so crazy how that happens. Exactly the same scenario. So what we did was we took them both to the healing temple we call the Angel Clubhouse. It was the first healing temple we ever went to, and it was in a surrogate session for me. And I had been there before. I had seen it before. It's beautiful. It's this huge white building with white pillars and stained glass windows from, floor to ceiling. And it has this conscious healing water pool that, we take our clients to, or we take ourselves to, to wash away anything that's no longer necessary for their highest good. So we took them there. And as we're approaching, Karen starts to like giggle, and I'm like, what's happening? And what did you say? You said, oh, I hear our favorite song playing.
Yeah.
I hear our favorite song playing, and I can see it coming out of the chimney of the temple, in rainbow music notes. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. So we go in, and you start to laugh again. And I'm like, what's going on? And you're like, well, I came in and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. They're playing our favorite song again. And then I look up, and guess who's playing it? And I was like, I don't know who. And she's like, Canon in D. Get it? I'm like, what? I'm like, Dolores is here? And she's like, yeah. Packet Bells, Canon in D. That's the song, Canon in D. So Dolores was playing our favorite song because Karen had mentioned that before. I don't even know how that came up, but
Yeah,
so
I don't
yeah,
know how it came up. It
I
was
don't
just
even.
a clever name that we never used, but then she
Yeah,
used it for us.
Dolores used it for us. Yeah, so
For her.
she was sitting. Yeah, she was sitting at the organ playing our favorite song, and the rainbow music notes were coming out, and it was beautiful. Um, so we asked her, "Do you have a message for our clients?" And the only thing she said was, "The love you
And
take is equal to the love you make."
yeah, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Like when she told it to me, she said, like, when you asked her, do you have a message? And then I'm just kind of like standing there in front of her. And then she just says that. And my conscious mind comes in and I'm like, did you just make that up? Because it still happens to me sometimes because it's so like, you know, and I'm like, okay. So then I just repeated it to you. But I didn't
Yeah.
understand it.
Right. I
You know,
didn't understand it either. And I
and
was
I'm like, I
like,
love that song. I'm like, all right, I love that song. But all right, sure. Okay.
right.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But as she said that, I saw the yin yang symbol again.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. So we move on, and I'm bringing in the angels and the clients, and Dolores stops us and she's like, "Tell them to just hug already." And we were like, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, what? She's like, just tell them to hug already. Like that's how she was doing it.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. So you start to see them come together. And then you were like, oh my God. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. You're
Yeah.
like, click.
I was like, and then we're both like, oh, okay. Because I saw them merge, the dark, the gray spot in the mom's heart, and the color and the whatever. It just all came in like a perfect puzzle piece, like compensating for each other. So when they hugged, it just fit. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And then it just clicked, like the whole thing. And then she, like Dolores, like turned around. She kept like, you know,
Yeah, that was so awesome. I was just like, oh, I get it now. I get it now.
I love
So,
that. Because
so
even
I was
for me, as someone who gives the message that I hear, like I sometimes I don't even understand it until I see more. Like it's just watching it unfold. Because like I even asked, I was like, I don't know why you said that. Like that makes no sense, Dolores. But then it makes sense after how it all
of course
comes
it
together.
does.
All of this comes together.
It
I love
always,
that
yeah,
magic.
yeah. So I was like, okay, are they healed now? Because all they needed to do was hug. And Karen was like, yeah, easy. I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh, well, we can let the angels steal it. So then what you saw was the rainbow light coming from the organ coming into them through their channels and healing them with the rainbow light. And so then Dolores says to you,
Yeah, she's like, look, Karen, it's like a pot of gold. She always talks to me like that.
yeah,
She turns
doesn't
around
she?
and says it, like she's just so, just one lines.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So yeah, she just said that. She's like, look, a pot of gold. But
But as you said that, as it came out of your mouth, I saw a flash of gold light. Right, it was right over here actually. I'll never forget it. It was right here. I saw this little flash of gold light. Just real quick, like you see out of the corner of your eye, right as you said it.
wow.
And again, my human mind's thinking like, how does this look like a pot of gold? It's, a pot of gold is a black cauldron with gold coins in it and a little leprechaun sitting on top. I'm like, what are you talking about, Dolores? But we just left it at that, and then they were healed, and we left the temple. So later on, I was writing up that little bit from the session, and I was looking for a picture to go with it, a pot of gold picture. And the first one I clicked on, the very first one, was it had attached to it a podcast of a man talking about how he saw the end of a rainbow. He saw the pot of gold. And I was like, what? This is real?
Right.
Yeah, I was so excited because the way he described it was like in this fractalized rainbow light, like I, he didn't even have the words to describe it. But it wasn't a literal pot of gold like our minds think, from the symbolism we've been shown. It's a metaphor for this amazing experience at the end of a rainbow where you're just immersed in this I can't explain it. It's just like this fractalized rainbow light, this prism kind of
Right.
experience. And so I was like, oh, wait, is this what you saw in the session? Like, this is what she was pointing to and saying, this is the pot of gold. And I
Right.
was just like mind blown.
Wow.
Just mind
Oh.
blown. It's so cool.
Right. Those are great synchronicities. Just like leading us to validating what we've seen, because I mean, you can't see what I'm seeing all the time, but I was just like, all right, like this is what I'm seeing. I didn't understand it. Me too. I was looking for the con, but I'm like, all right, Dolores, you're funny. Like,
Right. Yeah, but she was literally speaking about that and she led me directly to it. And I was just like, wow. And then I posted it in the forum and someone else had a story about seeing it,
oh,
seeing the actual pot of gold.
that's so cool.
And she also said that it's not the rain and the lighting that creates the rainbows, that it's actually Mother Earth that that creates the rainbow, because she had an experience like that way. I think she said she was on horseback or something and they were riding through somewhere. I don't remember specifically, but she had the pot of gold experience. Yeah,
Cool.
it's amazing.
Yeah, that was a great session.
I just love all of the magic that comes through. That was such a great session. So the result of that afterwards was that first of all, the little girl started to shift even before the session. I think the day of or the day before, she started going to her mom and like wanting to spend time and giving her hugs and just being more loving towards her, right? Because she was the queen. She was the one that was like shut down and cut off. So just doing that healing allowed her to be filled with that light again and want to have a connection with her mother, um, who was the daughter in that life. Yeah, and I've talked to her just briefly since, and she said, yeah, it's been amazing, the shift she's having, and she even wants to like go for walks with me and spend time together. I'm like, wow,
Wow, that's great. Amazing.
it's amazing. I know. So much magic. And yeah, so Dolores has been super present and powerful and assisting us.
Yeah, we just laugh all the time.
She's so funny. She just makes us laugh all the time.
I don't even remember what happened last one. I haven't, but yeah, I just remember laughing. You just were there,
Yeah.
present.
So, yeah, I don't even remember what we were talking about before that.
My services.
Oh. Yeah, why? Oh, yeah, because you started talking about Dolores. Um,
Just a
yeah,
little anecdote.
a little anecdote. Well, you can't like tell like a piece of that story. You have to tell the whole story, you know.
There's no way I would have been able to tell that this one like you tell it because I wasn't conscious for it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So So yeah, Dolores has been really, we can't promise that she's going to be there in a session, but she's been really present lately. Um, so if anyone, wants to try out a twin flame session, let us know. That would be really fun.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And you can get in touch with Karen for her channelings and energy clearings. And check out our new website. We still have a lot to add to it, but the basics are there. But yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, I'm good. I yeah, I think we covered everything. But yeah, please and let us know if it's easy to navigate the website, please. I'm open to criticism.
Yeah, we're open to like honest feedback from people. I mean, don't get crazy on us, but be
Yeah,
gentle.
just like easy stuff. But yeah, if it's easy to navigate and easy to find stuff, we'll start with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I'll list all of our information down below. I always do. You can always contact me through my email, quantumhealingwithtina@gmail.com, to book a session or ask questions or whatever you need. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us and listening to my story. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Sending
Bye.
you so much love. Bye.
Bye.